the west coast of the US, so it's definitely morning for me. It is 9 a.m. and I'm here live. So if it is 9 a.m. Pacific time and you're on the west coast and you're watching this right now, you are here with me live. Of course, it's noon on the east coast, so happy lunch hour, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend a little time with me, as well as this amazing community here at Beadaholique, as we enjoy the love of beading and we learn new techniques and we share ideas and we create projects and we just have a lot of fun. It's really a great time just to connect and just play and have fun. And I see Robin and Monica and Teresa are all joining us. Hello, you guys. We have Thaisa in the background helping. I think Michelle is here too. I think her name popped up really fast for me. And Monica, hello. We have always such a great group that joins us and is so supportive. And so this is a great place to ask questions, to get ideas, to share ideas. It's really lovely and wonderful. I see Francie and Liz and Tanya and Tracy and Connie and Santa Barbara Girl and Jan and Sue. Hi, guys. Oh my goodness, such a great group. All right, we're gonna have fun today. So we're working with Czech Glass pearls. Hello, Anita, Carolyn, and Monica. Hello. So Czech Glass pearls are really beautiful, and I have some on my table here, and I'm gonna show you these. So they are glass, they're obviously not plastic, and they are just a really lovely staple for jewelry making. Now, regular, like natural occurring pearls are actually pretty hard to find these days, and they're really, really expensive for the most part. I've noticed their price has gone up over the years and they're getting harder to find. So Czech Glass pearls are a really beautiful alternative. They're very beautiful, they're nice and uniform. They come in a wide range of colors and they're very, very affordable. Some of these are like 99 cents a strand with the 40% off discount that we're having here for our closing sale at Beadaholique. So they're a really great item to incorporate into your jewelry designs. I see them everywhere right now in fashion as well, so they're very on trend. But they're also classic and elegant. So even if you don't follow the trends and you're just like, I want really elegant, beautiful, classic pieces, pearls are great. So I am happy to be able to do this show today, and I'll show you the pearls that I have. And then there's many, 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 many more on the Beadaholique website as well. Hello, Kihao and Claudia, good morning. I think I saw a bunch of other names pop up there as well, and I'm sorry if I missed you. We have a lot to cover today. So in the last number of shows, what we've been doing is we've been sharing ideas about what everyone would like to learn about here on these Beadaholique lives. So as you guys know, Beadaholique is closing. We're going through our closing process, but we're still doing these lives as we're going through the closing process. So this is the time to get in those requests while we can still do these lives of what you want to learn and what you want to learn about or see how to do. So it's a really great opportunity that we have here. Hello, Ann B and Big Easy Mama. Hello, you guys. And Kihao, hello. So like I said, I'm pulling a couple different requests into this one show here. Hello, Diane and Susan. The first request was pearl knotting. So I'm going to show you how to do pearl knotting. It's so easy. We're going to do it with tweezers. I don't have the end caps, but I put them in the shopping bag. I'll walk you through that. The other request, and actually had 2 people reach out to me this week alone about it, is how to do this pearl where it's a seamless connection to chain. So it's really interesting, and I tested it out and I played with it. I think I have it down. I am going to share that I'm new to this. This is a new technique to me. I did have, like I said, I had a couple people reach out to say, how do you do this? Can you kind of test it and figure it out? I think I've got it figured out. It seems too good to be true. So we're going to do it on camera, live. We're going to walk through it and we're going to see if it works. It worked for me when I practiced, and I practiced it a bunch. I think I know the trick to it. I think I know why it works, but I'm going to share all of that. And then if we come up with like, oh, but what about if this happens? Then that's good. If we kind of are like, oh, maybe this doesn't work, we're going to work it through together. So that's what we're going to do. But it is really kind of cool. It is a seamless connection of a pearl to chain. So that's really awesome. So like I said, we got a lot to cover. I also pulled other materials. We can do wire wrapping chain. We could do our wire wrapping of pearls. We could do a strung bracelet. We could do earrings, handmade chain. We're just going to see where the day takes us today. But I definitely want to cover pearl knotting and that seamless connection method first and foremost. Oh, thank you guys. And Jane and JML, hello. You are, yes, and you can watch this later. I just saw that question. So these videos are all saved. So basically, as soon as we say goodbye for the day, just a couple minutes later, the replay becomes available. And that replay will be available, as far as I know, even after Beadaholique closes. They'll still be on YouTube. So we're going to keep all the videos up even when the website is gone. But for now, you can also find them on the website as well. A couple other quick notes. If anyone's joining us for the first time, welcome. If you are watching here on Beadaholique and you comment, I can see your comments. If you comment on one of our other platforms like Facebook or YouTube, I just can't see them live. But there's a link in the video you're watching. It would take you over to Beadaholique, so then you can ask questions and comment. There's a heart icon. It gives floaty hearts. There's a share icon. If you're like, oh, that was really awesome, I want to share it with a friend. There's that little arrow that lets you share. Hello, Vicky. And then there's the shopping bag. And the shopping bag is a resource bag for you guys. It's everything on my table, preloaded into like a gallery setting so you can see everything I'm working with. And then, Chris, I just saw your question. I'll answer it in just a minute. And then, so if you see something on my table, but I haven't talked about it yet, or I don't know the exact size, or I don't know the price, it's all in there. And you can add it right to your shopping bag. As far as I know, Chris, the videos are just going to stay on YouTube. I don't think there's going to be like a time limit. As what I've been told is the YouTube channel with the thousands of videos in addition to the live videos that are archived there now are going to stay. So that's what I've been told, and I think that's what's going to be happening, is that we will still have that library of like a jewelry making resource. I've been with Beadaholique since 2011 and making videos since 2011, and so there's thousands of like standalone pre-recorded videos in addition to the lives, and they're going to stay up there too. So that is what I've heard. So that's as far as I know. Eventually the website though will be shutting down. The time, you know, it happens. We're not happy about it, but it happens. But you can take advantage of the 40% off discount, which is awesome because it's a site-wide, everything on my table, the tools, everything is 40% off right now. So that's the good part. Oh, thank you, Tracy. I know I was really happy when they said they were going to keep the videos up, because those were a lot of work, but there was also a lot of fun, and it's a lot of really good content, and every type of technique. There's loom work and bead embroidery and chainmail. I mean, there's so much up there. So I'm really glad those are going to stay. Hello, Rosetta. Oh, thank you, Linda. We made these in another show here. These were little right angle weave earrings. So you can also go back and rewatch those. That was really fun. These are my go-to earrings. These I'm wearing a lot. They're also very lightweight, so they don't really feel like you're wearing anything. I keep waiting for the cat though to start playing with them because I feel like they're going to attract her. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera down. We are going to start with some of the basics, the pearl knotting and the seamless join, and then we're going to go and see where the afternoon takes us, where the morning takes us. Okay, here we go, guys. So I want to show you the pearls that we're going to be working with first. These are so pretty. And like I said, this is just a small sampling of what we have at Beadaholique. Now these are Czech Glass pearls, and they are beautiful. And I really feel like the photos don't do them justice because they are so pretty in person. So I've had a couple people ask me, what am I stocking up on? I'm stocking up on the Czech pearls and the English cut beads. Whenever I'm placing my own personal orders here at Beadaholique, I am loading up on the pearls and the English cuts because those are my favorites. Oh yes, Linda, there is a past video. Yes, you can definitely watch it. Thaisa or Michelle can put the link here in the chat for the right angle weave earrings. Okay, so you see all these beautiful colors. I'm going to show you the different sizes. So I have little I think this is my 2 millimeter. So I've got little tiny 2 millimeters, which are so pretty. And Thaisa and Michelle are going to pop up the banners for these as I show them. And then here is a 3 millimeter. So we can just do a little quick size comparison here. So we have a 2 and a 3. I love this olive color too. Then we have a 4. That's a really beautiful teal. So we got 2, 3, 4. Then we have a 6. And then we have an 8. And I can't believe I didn't order more of the 8s because the 8 is stunning. So you see, we've got 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. And they're really, really pretty. So the advantage of a Czech Glass pearl as opposed to a natural pearl or just like a plastic, of course, is they're going to be really nice and uniform in your jewelry designs. So that's going to be a nice advantage. Their holes are also going to be uniform. So that's one challenge with natural pearls is sometimes their holes are not drilled very cleanly and it can be really hard to work with. Here, you're going to have really nice holes to be able to do your work with. All right, so those are the beautiful pearls. And you know me, I was playing. I was like, how gorgeous are those for Christmas? Since we're getting into Christmas now. That big, beautiful 8 millimeter red, which honestly looks so much better than the picture that I saw on the website for it. And then the 6 millimeter snow white, and then the 4 millimeter olive. So I thought those would be absolutely beautiful for Christmas projects this year. Okay, and then I just want to show you just some of the other colors. It's just, you can have so much fun just playing. You can do a brown and teal combo. The cream and the white are nice little staples. Those are good basics. You can have so much fun. So check out the website in addition to what I have here because there's a lot more. Okay, so I'm going to put these aside and we're going to do, let's just go for the seamless join. Let's just do that one first. That was the one that we were excited about. Okay, so I unfortunately don't have this chain anymore. That is one thing. Things are selling out on the Beadaholique website. So unfortunately, sometimes I'm going to have to show something that I don't have. This is using the snow pearl. So this strand right here. Okay, so I used gold wire on this and you can see it a little bit more because I did use gold wire and I actually did that on purpose because I want us to be able to see what's the chain, what's the wire, and where's the bead. So this is a seamless join using a pearl. I'm going to be using 26 gauge wire for this and I'm going to cut myself about 4 inches. And I'm just going to use my regular cutters right here. And like I said, this is new to me. It did work. I was surprised it worked. We can talk our way through it. If we think that there's a problem with it, we can identify it right here as we're doing this live. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because I want to start from scratch here together. So basically what we're trying to do is create a join without seeing a crimp bead, without seeing wrapped wire loops, any of that. So you're going to take your wire, and I think the key is having the right size wire with the right size bead hole. So if you were to attempt this with a bead with a smaller hole, I would go up to 28 gauge wire. If you were to attempt this with a bead with a bigger hole, I'd go down to 24 gauge wire. So I think you are going to have to adjust your wire size for the hole size of your bead because I think that's kind of the key element here. Okay, so we're going to put the wire halfway through. And then we're going to grab on the end link of the chain. And like I said, if we need to troubleshoot this or if something doesn't work, I'd like to know that as well because I'm really intrigued by this technique. And I feel like it's too good to be true. So we're doing it here together. Okay, so I've got that chain link on there. I'm going to fold my wire back down through the pearl going in the opposite direction. So this is what I've got right now. I'm just going to give that a little tug so I have a little bit more coming out. And then I'm going to go to where I wanted the other piece of chain. Now you could have cut lengths of chain and do a pearl every couple inches, whatever you like. And then what we're going to do is we've got the other end of chain on there. Going to fold it over and go through the pearl on this side. And you see that wire coming out. Okay, so to me, it almost looks like you've made like a little bow. We can kind of look at this, and you're gonna need your chain nose pliers. So I've got my 2 pairs of chain nose pliers right here. So you can see that that chain is in the loop and the chain is in the loop. And so what we're gonna do is we are gonna grab the wire ends. Hello, Linda. And we're gonna pull. And look what happens when we pull. It cinches up that little loop. And we're gonna pull, 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 and give it a really good tug. So it crisscrossed inside the pearl, and it pulled it down. And you can see now the end of the chain is against the side of the pearl on both sides. Now, this is where I felt like, oh, something's gonna fall apart here. This isn't gonna work. So give it another tug. Give it another good tug. And I am using just artistic wire 26 gauge. And then I'm gonna kind of separate out the ends, and I'm just gonna trim them. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tug this here live and see if it pulls out. But like I said, I practiced this a bunch of times and it didn't pull out, okay? And it's not coming undone. And I'm kind of, like I said, I'm a little bit surprised. So I think the key though is the wire gauge to the hole size. So I really think if you did this with a bigger holed bead and the 26 gauge wire, it would slip out. So I think that's going to be your key. So I think you can do it with other beads, but just check your wire gauge. So if you have maybe a stash of 24, 26, 28 gauge wire, test it. Make sure you tug on it. Like I really was kind of giving this thing a good tug, and really your jewelry should not be pulled this tough, right? Like you really shouldn't be like grabbing jewelry this hard. We're just doing this to like stress test it to see if this actually works. And it does. So you see my loop got just a wee bit bigger here, but it's still firmly in there. And this side is as well. So if you can see that, and it's staying in there. So that was really, really cool. Like I said, I had several people reach out to me to try to kind of figure this out, troubleshoot it. So that's really neat. I'm super happy with that. I think that looks really cool. Great question, Lydia. I'm going to see if Michelle knows the answer to that. She's a little bit better on those technical questions like that. So I'm going to see if Michelle knows the answer to that one. If the hole sizes are all the same. I would imagine that like all the 6mm hole sizes would be the same, but I don't know if a 2mm hole size would be the same as a 6mm. So give it a try. Like I said, I really was not thinking that this would hold, but it did. But I really think it's the snugness. I was trying to like figure it out. I think it's because it's so snug. Okay, so that is that seamless join with chain. And now we're gonna do some pearl knotting. Okay. So I have Griffin silk here. So if you're not familiar with this, you buy it in a card like this. It has different numbers. I like number 4 for pearl knotting, and you get a good amount of length. So this is a nice amount. You get 2 meters. And what happens is, so here's what pearl knotting looks like when done. And it's very simple. And I think pearl knotting was originally, came about because pearls were very expensive. And if you had them knotted individually, what would happen would be, one, it would cushion them. So you're not going to have a pearl rubbing against a pearl, which would be good. But also if your necklace was to break, you wouldn't lose your strand of pearls. You would just lose the one pearl. So that can be, that's good to kind of know a little bit of the history of it, but it's a really easy technique. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to cut this off and we're going to start from the beginning. So Griffin silk, what you do is you take it off the card. So this one I took off the card, And it has these kinks in them. You can try to stretch them out. I've actually even hung it from like a handle of a door before, but they don't really bother me or interfere with the work. Oh, Lydia, I don't know. Can it be done with 3 beads? We could always try it. Do you guys want to try the seamless join with 3 beads? See what happens? Can you use the artistic wire instead of the beading wire? So for the seamless join, I think you absolutely need wire, not beading wire. I think I did test it with like this. I tested it with this and it came straight out. So you definitely need wire, not a beading wire. Ooh, how do you make a multi-strand pearl necklace that drapes well? What I would do is if you really want it to be beautifully and drapey, like your classic pearl necklaces, probably what you're seeing is pearl knotting, because it is very soft. It's very soft. It's very drapey. It's very classic and elegant. There are pearl knot ends. And so like I said, I didn't have them here with me. I looked everywhere. They look kind of like this, but they've got like, they're hinged over here with a little hole in the middle. This is actually a ball chain end, but it's similar enough that it can kind of let you know. It's like a little clamshell, but it has a little hole in the bottom. And what you do is you go ahead and you put your thread, or your Griffin silk, I should say, through it. You tie a little knot, and then you basically just take so you've got the Griffin silk in here. It's knotted. It's coming out the hole. Sorry, I'm going to just try to walk you through this since I don't actually have the pearl ends. And then the silk will be exiting here, like the big long strand of it. Then you just take your clamshell and you just basically pinch it shut over your knot. So it becomes like a bead and your knot is hidden in there. And then you have a little loop to attach your findings to. Size pearls. So I like a size 4 for Griffin silk. The reason Griffin silk is really nice for pearl knotting is right here. You have a needle that comes attached to it. So it comes always with this nice twisted wire needle attached to the silk. So Griffin silk is also nice because it is so soft and gentle to use. It makes really beautiful knots. Another use for Griffin silk that I've used is for wrapped bracelets. There's the Wrap It Loom, and this is what I use to wrap the beads onto the leather cord. So I've used it before for that. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that was our little pearl, that we've got a little pearl knot cover here. If you want to see what they actually look like, I put them in the shopping bag. We do carry them here at Beadaholique. I just didn't have any, and I wanted to do this show today. So you basically would have this little knot. It would be in that little pearl knot cover that I just see the banner just got popped up for. You would then thread it through the little hole in the knot cover, make it like a little clamshell, and then you're ready for your first bead. Let's open another color. Let's open this beautiful teal 6mm. Yeah, I like pearl knotting too. You know what? It's one of those techniques I kind of have to be reminded of. And then once I do it again, I'm like, oh, I love this technique. So you're going to go to the end of your Griffin silk, and it comes in a ton of colors. And you've got your needle. So your needle's just going to go through the bead and slide down the silk. And you guys are going to see how easy this is. Okay, slide down the silk to your knot, and you'd have your little end on there. You're just going to tie a little simple overhand knot. So real simple, not a double knot, not a surgeon's knot, just a real simple overhand knot. And then you've got pearl knotting tweezers. So you can use it with regular tweezers. The pearl knotting tweezers are easier with this bent tip. Okay, so then you just grab, you go through your knot, your loop, you grab just the Griffin silk where it exits your pearl, pull your fingers out, and then what's going to happen is your knot is going to slide right down on top of your bead. And then you just remove your tweezers, give it a little tug, and you got a nice little petite knot. I'm gonna do that a couple more times. It's really easy. That's all there is to it. Sorry, my silk got tied up on my pliers. All right, so just grab another bead. And of course, you could do pearl knotting with something other than pearls. So grab another bead, slide it on down. The needle is already attached. So the needle itself is right here. It comes on the silk already. So you see right here is actually attached to the silk and it comes loaded onto that card. So you don't have to buy a needle. It is a twisted wire needle that's already attached to the end of your silk. So again, just a simple knot. Oh, Sue, okay, I don't know if you've tried it with the tweezers. I see what you're saying, like it's hard to get it next to the bead. So the trick to that is you put your tweezers through your knot area and you really just grab that silk right where it exits the bead. So you can see with that nice bent end, I'm just grabbing that silk, letting go of my fingers. And then the knot essentially slides down the end of the tweezers and sits where your tweezer tip is, which is right on top of the bead. And then you kind of can give it a little push with your hands, and then you've got another knot. Oh no, you keep getting kicked out, Big Easy Mama. Oh no, I hope that that resolves itself. Oh no. And then let's do it again. It's really this easy. It's so easy, guys. And you can make a really long necklace pretty quickly because once you get the hang of it, it's just gonna go really fast. So here's that needle. So you see, it's just kind of a bendy needle. It's just wire and it's actually just attached to the end of the silk. And you're gonna go down. And just pull that all the way. And it feels like you have a ton of silk to start with, but it does start to get used up. Okay, again, just that simple little overhand knot. Nothing fancy. Then put your tweezers in, grab it where it exits, and then just let it do its thing. Let it just slide down. And then when I pull my tweezers out, I just push that knot down and we're done. So there's 3 of those pretty pearl knotted together. Yes, we do sell the tweezers. Yes, we do. So I think I just saw a banner pop up and they're really nice. They're a nice tweezer just in general for jewelry making, but they're really great for pearl knotting because of this end right here that's curved like that. How about a double knot? Ooh, you know, I don't know if a double knot would slide down. You could, if you wanted to do like a double knot, you could actually probably go like this. Here, we're going to experiment because that's what we can do here on these lives. So I did not add a bead. We're trying to do a double knot to maybe add a little more space. So I didn't add a bead. I just, I got confused which way my silk went here. Ah! You guys can't see this, but my silk is getting tangled in my other beads right here. So let me see. Got to get this undone first. The hazard of having too many beads on your table. Okay, so where did my knot come from? Let me see. Oh my gosh. I'm going to just do this off camera real quick where I can stretch out my arms. Okay. I'm still here. I'm just taking these 2 meters of silk and trying to untangle them on the expanse back here. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so I have another knot. If you wanted to try to do a double knot, I would just then try to do it on top of the knot you already did versus trying to do a double knot all at once. So I would do like 2 separate knots to make a double knot. Let's see if this works. So I'm just going to now grab the knot that I already made and see if it slides down and what it might look like because we can test these things. Okay. so there you have a bigger knot, if you can see that. So we kind of did have a double knot, but I would do it as 2 separate knots. I think you're going to get really tangled otherwise. What happens if the needle breaks off? Great question. I don't know a way of fixing the needle if the needle breaks off. What you could do is you could buy a pack of twisted wire needles. I thought I actually saw one floating around. Oh, so this is a twisted wire needle. This is something you would buy separately. And what you could do is if this needle ever broke off, you could replace it with this needle. And basically you would just take the end of your Griffin silk, put it through the hole of that, and then you would work with it like this. So that would work as well. So you're always working, when you're working with Griffin silk, you're always working from the end of it. So you've got one end with the needle and one end that's just the silk end. You're always working from the bottom up. And so that way, let's say that we did a project, maybe we made a bracelet and it only used half of the Griffin silk. You would then still have a length of Griffin silk with a needle attached. So then you'd be able to reuse it for another project. So you're always just working from the base and going up. And Griffin silk does come in a ton of colors. It does come in different sizes. I really, really, really like the size 4. That's the one I use almost every single time. I do it for my bracelet wrapping. I do it for my pearl knotting. It's just a really good size. So if you're kind of feeling a little lost when you look at Griffin silk with the sizes, 4 is my recommendation. Can you connect this to the chain? Oh, so what you would do if you wanted to connect this, well, I wonder if you could actually just connect chain onto it. I have never done that. So normally what you would do if you wanted to connect it to chain, you would have your little ending, right? You'd have your little pearl knot cover right here, which would give you a little ring, and then you would use a jump ring to connect it to the chain. So that's how you would normally connect like a segment of pearl knotting to a clasp or a chain. So you would have that right there. Can you connect it directly to chain? Well, let's try. I'm going to cut this segment off. This is just going to be our little sample chain. I'm just going to cut it right here. Okay. How many beads per strand? Oh, great question. So it really depends on the size. Michelle can definitely help share that. The 8 millimeter is going to have fewer, but then again, like I noticed, look how long this strand is. This is giant. This is a 4 millimeter strand and you get a ton of beads. So I think hopefully the product description shares that, but like here is a 6 millimeter and you're getting a ton of them. So hopefully each listing will share that because it does seem to vary. So Michelle is saying on the olive strand, there's 100 beads. Ooh. And then Gina's saying she's tied Griffin silk directly to a clasp. Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, it's like any other material, so I don't see why you couldn't do that. You might also, just as a consideration as we're talking here, because I've never done this, but I'm just thinking it might work. Thread and wire protectors, you could probably use as well if you were worried about rubbing of the silk with like wear and tear. So yes, Jane, they do have needles with bigger eyes. So you can do a big eye needle. Michelle can add them to the shopping bag. They're called big eye needles. Twisted wire needles also have bigger eyes. So that's good to know as well. And I think you could use thread and wire protectors as well. So technically what you could probably do is go up through the thread and wire protector. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, oh, nope, it gets stuck. Never mind. It gets stuck to going over that needle. Oh, hello, Beverly. Oh, hello, Netta. Okay, so I think you could tie this, like Gina said. It is just another stringing material, so I think you could probably tie it directly onto a clasp. You could probably tie it directly onto chain as well. Can you show us the 2 millimeter pearl? Absolutely. I think I've got 2 different ones. And then I saw also the comment that some of the strands do not share their quantity. If Michelle can't find that info, I could always count them here as well. So here are 2 samples of the 2 millimeter pearls. They're really pretty. I like these ones a lot. So there's the little 2 millimeter. And then I did bring, I don't know how we're going to do for timing here. Like I said, today was just going to kind of meander. We were going to talk all about pearls and pearl knotting and that seamless join and kind of see where the day takes us. But I was thinking, how pretty would these be wire wrapped onto like a frame? So there's like these beautiful frames, and I was hoping we'd have a few minutes to wire wrap a few of the pearls onto a frame today. I thought that would be really fun and pretty. I want to go back. Does anyone have any further questions about pearl knotting or Griffin silk before we go back to the seamless join and see if we can do it with multiple beads? Let's just, because I know we're a little bit meandering today. Oh, bye, Rosetta. Wait, you're going to PT? Oh, physical therapy. I was hoping you were going to Portugal. I thought you were going on vacation. Okay, well, the number 4 Griffin silk work with the 2 millimeter pearls, or do you have to have a smaller size? Let's try it. Okay, I'm going to open up, I love this color. I'm going to open up this color. And if there's any pearl strands that don't list the quantity, if you could put that into the chat, Michelle can definitely research that. Okay. Ooh, how can you repair a break in knotted pearls? I am not sure, to be honest. I think you have to restring them. I don't think that there is a way of repairing that midway through because you've got all the little individual knots here. So that's going to be, unfortunately, I feel like that might be a case where you have to restring it. Okay, so we've got the little 2 millimeter. This is really cute. So does it work? Oh, so the 2 millimeter is not going past the bend in my needle. Let's try the 3 millimeter. I have this olive 3 millimeter strand here. Oh my gosh, my tools are into everything today. Oh, yes. So I don't have French wire right here, but another time I would be more than happy to show how to use French wire. French wire is very pretty, very elegant. Michelle, would you mind putting French wire in the shopping bag just so everyone can see what French wire is for those who are not familiar? So here is that olive strand with the 3 millimeter. And again, these are just some of the colors on the website. There's a lot more, and they are that 40% off. So a lot of these strands are definitely less than $2. I noticed some were just like 99 cents. Okay, so here's a 3 millimeter. Let's see. Oh, that easily went over the bend for the size 4 Griffin silk. And we're just going to pearl knot it because we can. So how do you knot the silk securely to the clasp? Oh my gosh, everything's getting tangled on me today. This is like a little, okay. So let's see if I have a clasp and we'll try to knot it. Okay, so there's our little 3 millimeter. Same thing for you. Those of you who just joined us, this is how you pearl knot. You just make a simple overhand knot. And then you take your pearl knotting tweezers. It is definitely easier with tweezers. You just go in and you go through your knot, which is looped around your fingers. You just grab the silk where it exits the bead, release your fingers, and then that just slides down your tweezers and makes a knot right after your bead. So the way that I have secured it in the past is using the pearl knot ends. I've never done it without the clamshell finding. So you can see those in the shopping bag. So basically this would give you an end. It would give you like what looks like a little bead and an end and a little ring. And then you can just add a jump ring. I would like to try to see if I can knot this to a clasp without that, because I saw that question a couple times pop up. I would say a 4 or a 6 millimeter pearl is probably what's used the most, probably a 6. For pearl necklaces, like the really beautiful long strung pearl necklaces, I feel like a 6 millimeter is pretty classic. 4 I've seen as well, like a 4 or a 6, I would say. I do love this 8 in person though. At 8 is really cool looking in person. Okay, so let's see. So I would knot it first. I would finish with a knot, so at least it's secure. And then let's see if we can just attach this. So I have my fear here, where we're gonna get stuck, is where's our end gonna go? Because like with bead weaving or stringing, we can always like tuck our end back into the last couple beads. But where will our end go? So we could tie this on. So we could tie it on. How do you keep the string from coming out of the clamshell even after putting the knot inside? Oh, good question. So you can use a little GS hypo cement. A lot of people put a dab of GS hypo cement into it. You can also tie a double knot if you want to, if you feel like you want it to be a little bit more secure. So again, if anyone's just joining me, this is not a pearl knot cover. I didn't have any on hand, and I kind of decided to go forward with the show without ordering more supplies. It looks very similar to a pearl clamshell knot cover. So I wanted to show it because it kind of gives you the idea that it's got these two halves that come together to form a bead. But the pearl knot cover is going to have a little hole in the bottom here and a whole other side to it. And you can see them, Michelle and Thaisa will pop up the banners so you can see what they look like. It's got a little hole that you put your thread through, and then basically it's coming out this way and you've got it knotted in there. You can tie a double knot, you can tie a triple knot, make a nice big knot to cover it. You've got a lot of space. And then I do use a little GS hypo cement. You could also use E6000. So that's something you can do. And then it does hold. It really does hold, especially if you want to try to double or triple your knot to begin with, make it bulkier, put a little glue in there, clamshell it shut, and it's going to hold. Oh, great. Marianne said Deb used French wire in yesterday's video. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. So that would be great. Yeah. So here I'm looking at tying this on. I could definitely tie a knot. My worry is I have no place to kind of like double knot it or bring it securely in. So if anyone has done this, if they want to share how they made that secure without using a clamshell, that would be great, because I just feel like I can knot this, like right now, I can just tie a knot, but where's my end gonna go? Because I feel like I would want it double knotted. Oh, has the French wire link come up yet? Michelle, Thaisa, do you have a link for French wire? It's so great to have support here. Yeah, the clamshell is definitely gonna, I think, be a bit more secure, because here I'm tying this on. I can even go in and do this where I grab it so that the knot sits down near the other knot. Okay. So it pulls it down, but I'm not here. So now it's knotted, and you could try to knot it a couple more times, but I feel like you're going to have this rough end, and I'm a little worried it's going to come undone. Oh, do these magnetic clasps work? You know, I find they work really great. I'm going to show you. I'm going to cut this one off. This is my favorite. So I think it's like 72 cents or something with the 40% off, and it comes in silver, gold, antique brass. This is my favorite. I find it really a good, solid magnetic clasp. It's inexpensive, but it seems to be really good quality, and it's just a really nice scale. So this one comes in a bunch of different color finishes, so I really like this. Oh, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. Oh, you've been hoarding your good pearls. Awesome. Yeah, pearls are getting harder to find. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys, I popped the camera. Oh, and Linda's saying, I've been disappointed in magnetic clasp, but these work well. Yeah, these are my favorite. And they're not the fanciest. They're definitely not the most expensive. They're actually the least expensive that I've found, but they work really well. Oh, sure. So I will put that, Thaisa, can you add to the list of things to show in future classes how to add a safety chain to the magnetic clasps? That is a great idea. So that is a really, really good idea. Okay, so I want to go back to the seamless join with 3 beads real quick. And for anyone who missed it, so we're going to now, because it's 3 beads, let's cut ourselves more like 5 inches of this 26 gauge wire. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more. Let's put on 3 of these, and I'm not sure if this is going to work, so we're testing. Okay, so here's a set of 3 of the 6mm pearls. So a safety chain is a little chain that basically, once your bracelet's constructed, on either side of the magnetic clasp, you have a little chain. It's not very long. It's like this, so that you can still slide your bracelet on. But basically, if your magnetic clasp comes undone, your bracelet starts to fall off, it catches it. So instead of your bracelet dropping to the floor, you've got this little piece of chain here that you just will kind of keep it on your wrist. So you see it a lot in really fine jewelry. So like, oh my gosh, I couldn't afford it, but I almost bought this Victorian bracelet at a jewelry store. I was having my ring cleaned. It was this beautiful gold, like braided gold Victorian. It was actually antique Victorian, and it had a little safety chain. It's just a really petite little chain that, so if your clasp ever comes undone, your bracelet isn't lost. So we can definitely show how to make a safety chain. That's not hard to do, but we can definitely do it in a class. All right, we're gonna try this with the 3 beads. And now I'm even seeing that maybe you wanna cut more like 6 inches because we now not only have the expanse of the 3 beads taking up chain length, when we go through it, we're gonna have to go through it, and that's gonna take wire length as well. Okay, so we're gonna try to go back through all 3. And you know what? That's not enough wire. I need more. I'm gonna cut more like 8 inches. Definitely need more wire to go through more beads. Okay, so now I've got a longer one. Yeah, Santa Barbara girl, you're right. Yeah, because magnetic clasps do tend to stick to things. I love them, but they do tend to stick to things. So I haven't shown what to do with the long rectangles yet. I was hoping we would have time to show a little bit of wire wrapping with the petite pearls onto it. So that's what we'll do next. Here though, we're gonna do this. So we've got that nice center pearl, and we're gonna go through all 3 of them, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, so we got 1 end through all of them. Okay, so again, it's kind of like making a bow. Now we're going to go back through all 3 of them this way. It's a little harder, so I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm observing here, since I know you're not here fiddling with it like you'd be able to feel it. It's a little harder. It's getting kind of jammed, and my wire is getting a little kinked, but I want to see how close I am. Okay, because we've got to get all the way through all 3 in both directions. So the wire is jamming. I think it's going to be harder to go through all 3, guys. I keep hoping I see the end. So I think the 26 gauge wire. Oh, you're right. I forgot the chain. Ha, Lydia, you're right. All right, let's try it with 2 beads, and we're not going to forget the chain this time. All right, good call, Lydia. Okay. Let's see if we can do it with 2 beads. So 1, 2, pull it down to the middle, grab that end of chain. So yeah, you could do slightly smaller wire. You could do 28 gauge, but then I worry it's not going to have that snug fit. But maybe if you're doing a smaller pearl, then that 28 gauge would be good. Okay, so going through 1, going through 2. Okay, so we made it through the 2, right? Watch out for grocery carts. Oh, with the magnetic. Yeah, totally. All right, now we're gonna do the chain on the other side. Okay, and then let's see if we can make it through 2 or if it gets jammed again. Okay, went through 1. Come on. You guys, it keeps jamming when I'm trying to go through the second one. I don't know. I think you can fiddle with it. Maybe you can figure out a technique for it. I'm struggling with it. Let me just show that seamless join with 1 again for anyone who missed it. And then I do want to show just quickly a little wire wrapping, how easy it is to do with the pearls. All right, so we'll just go back here. And then, or maybe my wires just decided not to be happy with me right there. There it comes. I've kind of kinked it up though, so we're gonna see if I need clean wire to do this. All right. Okay, well, I pulled that one quickly, and then you're gonna pull the other side with your other pliers and pull it, and there you've got that seamless join. So 1 seems to work just fine. More than 1 is a bit challenging, but give it a try. Try it, see if you can figure out a little trick or tip to make it work. So could you ream the beads a tiny bit? I tend to not ream glass beads myself, but I know Deb Floros, I think she's really good and she loves her bead reamer. I think she put it as one of her top tools, so maybe that would be a good question for Deb, because I tend to not use that and do that, but she does and she loves it, so maybe that would be a really good question for her. So, okay, so there's that. And then real quick, I love these findings with the pearls as well. I'm just going to show a quick sample piece. These come as pairs on the website. There's more styles than just this. So there's a lot of these out there. So they're just these really cool frames. And what you can do, I'm just going to take a little bit of the 26 gauge wire again, and you can wire wrap them so easily. Okay, so Santa Barbara girl, perfect. She's saying, I have a plug-in bead reamer and I use it carefully on glass. Okay, that is a great tip to share. And I love that. I never really want to speak to things I don't personally do, just because, you know, it's like the personal experience is so valuable to be able to say what works and what doesn't. All right, so here we go. If you're going to wire wrap, you just make a couple coils ahead of time. And then what we can do is pick up a pearl. I'm just going to, one of these beautiful olive 3 millimeters. And then you can just lay it against the edge and then go over. So here we go. And then I always do 1 extra wrap without a bead. And then back up top. And you've got that pearl wire wrapped onto your frame. And you can add as many as you want. Like we can even take this really pretty 4 millimeter pearl right here and we can mix it with the olive 3 millimeters, so you don't have to stay with the same size. You can, so if I was going to use thread, I would actually do circular brick stitch. I feel like circular brick stitch is going to be more secure with a thread technique. And I've done circular brick stitch around these frames a bunch and it works great and I love it. So I would do like a circular brick stitch versus how I'm doing it here with the wire. This is really good for wire wrapping, but I would not do the same technique here with thread. But it is possible with the thread for the circular brick stitch. Okay, and then you just keep adding whatever beads you want to add and go around twice just to give you that anchor point. And you can see how it's looking. It's just going to be, it would be really pretty. You can do it all the way around. Oh yeah, that would be another good class. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, any class ideas, guys. All of the classes we've done the last couple weeks have pretty much been from ideas shared here during other classes. And it's super helpful for me, and I love it. I think it's great because then we can talk about the things that we want to learn about. So you see that you can just keep wire wrapping, and you can create a really fun effect. You could even wrap these in the middle. You can wrap them on the outside, and you would just keep going. And then eventually when you're done, you just wrap it around a few more times without pearls. So however many wraps you started with, maybe you started with 4 or 5, you just wrap it around, and then you trim it with your regular cutters. So there's circular brick stitch and there's brick stitch. So circular brick stitch is usually done around a bead or a frame. And then I always think of brick stitch as more like a flat, but it is very closely related to brick stitch. And then here you would just trim this up a little bit. So if you got any kind of rougher ends, you would just push it together. Wrap it again if you want to. You can go do another end. 26 gauge wire is super forgiving. I think someone just put that in the comments too. And it's really easy to work with. And then you go in and you just make sure you don't have any pokey ends. You just kind of squish it a little bit. And that's how you would wire wrap pearls onto a frame. And of course, you can do whatever size you want, colors, inside, outside. Lots of different options here. So really fun. So I just want to show you guys again really quick some of the pearl colors I pulled so you can see them in person. Like even the red and the gray silver color is really pretty. The white is going to be very classic. So you got a nice classic white pearl. There's like a chocolate, which is real pretty. And then all these different sizes. And of course I already cut into some of these, but they're just so pretty. Oh, I love it, Cindy. Why not wire wrap across and make a green tree shape in the middle? You could absolutely do that. That would be so cool. So she's saying you could wire wrap going this way and make it a tree shape. Absolutely. You could create designs in here. You could totally wire wrap across, which is really fun. So really pretty, pretty colors to play with here. You can wire wrap them, you can string them, you can pearl knot them, you can do that seamless join. Lots and lots of things that you can do with these pearls, and they're just a really, really great value too with that 40% off. And they're just pretty. I love them. They're so pretty. So, okay, I have a tip. From the last class when you were doing the ring memory wire, I tried gluing the half drilled. It went too fast. And at the same time, gluing a piece of thread to the other end, and then use the thread with the needle to help load the beads faster. It worked for me. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I think I read that really quickly, but Lydia shared a tip about the ring memory wire and an easier way to work with it. So if you look at the comments, you can read her in her comment in entirety and learn her tip. I love that. Oh, good, guys. I'm glad you liked this class. It was really fun. It was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but hopefully it gives you some more ideas for working with pearls. Just really fun, really fun. Oh, suede gold. Which one are you looking at? There's so many pretty colors here. I love them. Like the blues and the greens are what get me. I think the blues and the greens are so pretty. And of course with Christmas, that red. Will we get more memory wire? You know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, so really pretty. Okay. Oh, and great idea, Santa Barbara Girl. Please share this class to yourself. That way, yeah, that way it's always saved for you. All right, guys, I'm going to flip the camera up. This was super, super fun. Thank you for the other ideas for upcoming classes too. I'm going to work on Mondays. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet, so I'll see if I can incorporate any of these suggestions or the last couple ones into this one as well. And then that good reminder from Michelle and Thaisa, if you have anything in your shopping cart, please do remember to check out. When we started the show, I know we had the tweezers in stock, the 26 gauge wire, all the different pearl colors that I was showing. So if you got any of those, make sure to complete your order. And then, yeah, keep the ideas coming. I love it. Oh, good, Gina, try the clamshells again. The clamshells are actually pretty easy to work with. I'm sorry I didn't have samples to show, but the clamshells are pretty easy, and I'm sure we've got a video on Beadaholique showing how to use them step by step. So that should be good too. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera up. So we say goodbye for today, and then the show will be saved as always. There's my chimes. So if you wanna go back and rewatch, you will be able to watch the show again in just a few minutes. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. It's already Thursday. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you